Hi everyone, welcome to
How's it going?
Up with Cindy and Jerry.
All right. So the storm is over up here in the Northeast.
So we're filming in our porch today. Kind of drove him crazy with the camera setup today. So just to do a little different today. It's so pretty in the backyard and the porch. It's so cozy. So I know I drove him nuts setting up for this.
Yeah, it was more than I expected.
So I know this is probably the last time we'll probably film.
No, I said leave it here and we'll do a couple of videos here.
So yeah, we did our. He was really smart this storm.
Yeah.
He went out last night with our son around between 9 and 10 o'clock, and they cleaned up. So this morning, as to where all our neighbors were outside cleaning, he was able to stay in bed, relax, and just go out at around, I think it was after breakfast, around 11.
11ish.
And
just threw some salt on the driveway.
And we went for a walk.
Yeah.
While everybody's cleaning up, because he did it last night, which it was still fluffy.
It was still, right. So towards the end, depending whoever lives in the Northeast, for us, we're right there on that border, I guess, where it kind of came a little rain afterwards.
Yeah.
And if, rain definitely makes it heavier and stuff like that. So once we were done, it was kind of like a sleet mixture and stuff like that. But it was, for us, we were out there for an hour and a half.
Yeah. And you guys cleaned it up, all good?
Yeah.
So this morning, all they had to do was salt. Even the cars were still clean because it just kind of turned to rain early this morning.
Yeah.
So, we're just...
the kind of snowstorm I like, where it's not a lot of work.
It's not a lot of work.
No.
So today we just did odd things around the house. Of course, I've had my chili slow cooking since around 11 o'clock, I think. Still has a little bit of time more to go. Probably about another 2 hours to go. So we're just going to hang out in the house, probably watch a movie. I probably will go take possession of the couch, and he'll probably watch either a movie in his office or
downstairs.
play a video game, or I'll go downstairs and play on
Xbox or watch a movie downstairs. I haven't decided
yet. Everyone, we just figured we'd do a little video regarding the weather. Hope everyone is being cautious and,
I think, when she said let's do one, it is... it took a lot of hard work to get the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When we came from an apartment in the city and stuff like that, and
we didn't know about prepping or things like this.
No, we didn't. No. In fact, when we moved here in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Well, no. We moved everything in, and we went into the city for something that first week.
The last things that we left at the apartment.
And we drove back. We had a Saturn. We had one of the 90s version of the Saturn. The first editions, I guess. 91? 93?
Yes, it was a 91 version. And
when they first came out.
Stuck in the snow coming back up here with the kids in the car picking up the last things that we left at the apartment. But I think we had a neighbor that actually came over and helped us. Because we didn't have anything really. I think we had one.
Not that night.
The next night.
No, nobody knew we moved in.
Yeah, the old neighbors that lived across the street. They don't live there anymore. They've been gone a long time.
Maybe. But it was weird. We sat on 208, and I just couldn't understand why we were not moving anywhere. We're from the city. Mm-hmm. And then you realize the highway was just covered with snow. Nobody came to plow. So SUVs were on the left, just doing what they do. And I was on the right with my Saturn, and I was like, all right, you got this. Come on. And we made it all the way home. Mm-hmm. Luckily, the previous guy left a shovel, an old shovel.
One shovel.
So I parked the car across the street, shoveled as quick as I could. I mean, I was younger that time. I was 30, 31. And then it was time to move the car. I couldn't move it because it was so wedged. The Saturn is a very low sitting car. Mm-hmm. It was stuck. I had to move the snow underneath and get it out so I could just kind of move.
And you actually had to do that with a piece of cardboard from a moving box.
Yeah.
Like wedge it and use it as a mini shovel, dig. It was interesting our first winter here.
Yeah.
If you see us that we keep on nibbling and stuff, so we went to this tea place.
Pumpkin Lakes.
Yesterday. So it turned out to be amazing, and you were able to order scones to take home. So, I ordered 6 scones, right? they gave us all caramel scones, which I'm not upset about.
What
I
happened?
know we ordered 3 of each.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got confused. I don't know if my cousin ended up getting 6 of the other ones, and we got all 6 of the caramel.
You should call. I like the other ones
but
too.
I'm okay with it because this one was my favorite flavor. So they had these caramel scones. So they're just scones with like mini caramel chips all over it. It's not overly sweet.
This is it right here.
They're not,
it's like little bits of caramel right in it.
yeah, oh my gosh, they're so delicious. It's not crumbly. It's not overly sweet. It's not dense. It's kind of soft and chewy. So, yeah. We brought home some of their scones. And the amazing thing is that they sell them to you where they're frozen. And she says you can keep them in the freezer for up to a couple weeks. Just put them in the oven for 5 minutes at 350, and they taste like they just were baked.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured we'd do a little session, talk about our first winter here, which was insane, with a 6-month-old and a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we first moved here, our daughter was 10.
Yes.
And our older son was only 6 months old.
We sat until wait for like over an hour.
Yes.
I would get up and walk out there. She says, "What do you see?" I said, "You see cars on snow. I don't know. I don't know what's going on." And I guess the car started moving. Mm-hmm. And I guess they finally said, "Hey, nobody's coming to plow." That hasn't happened in ages. Now they pretty much plow. I think maybe freak storms.
They clean everything up pretty much
No,
faster now.
Actually, no. 4 or 5 years ago, it happened again. I was on the bus going from work. It took like 7 hours to get home.
Yeah. Luckily, you had some snacks in your jacket pocket, and you had a half a bottle of water to sip on.
Yeah. So what I do is, so when I first moved up here, I take the local bus, the express bus, and the first stop is my town. Mm-hmm. And I got on the bus. Gentleman, the bus driver goes, "Hey, first and last stop is the town that I live in," and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about it because I live in that town. The first stop, but people were upset because it was not going any further up. There's at least another 5 or 6 stops, and it was not. So people were like, "How am I going to get home?"
The last stop is even more rural because we live in it's not
Sub-rural.
rural. We're sub-rural.
We have paved roads.
Yes, we have some.
No, all of Ringwood is paved.
It's all paved, but we have no sidewalks.
Right. So I believe it's called. You got suburbs, rural suburbs, and sub-rural, and there's different classifications.
So it goes up to a very rural area where there's just,
Some of the side roads are dirt roads, but the main road for the bus is a road.
Yes.
Paved. But it gets, as you move up through North Jersey into New York, the roads are more narrow, I think, and more hills. Mm-hmm. So, if your departments are not taking care of the snow as quickly enough, the bus doesn't want to risk getting stuck.
Won't risk it up that
So
way.
anyway, people were really upset, and I asked the person there, I'm like, "Does this happen often?" They go, "Yeah, it could happen. Sometimes it goes to that first stop, and maybe it'll make it to the second stop." So I'm like, "Well, lucky I live in the first stop, And made it home. Got there, the park and ride. I think I still had the Saturn. Mm-hmm. And then a year later on, in 2 years we got we picked up an SUV.
You got the SUV.
Yeah, I got an SUV. Yeah.
But even that, I mean, granted, we came from New York. We didn't know the snow was a lot heavier when you moved to these areas.
Yes.
So we learned because our first few years we just had shovels. Our kids were little, so we had to learn how to shovel our driveway strategically.
Yeah. Where to put the snow at?
Where to put it, how to do it, because our house is on a slight hill, and our hill is dangerous when it snows, especially if it freezes over. We've had a few spills.
Yeah, it's.
I think you've gotten a concussion once or twice.
Maybe I think a minor one, but yeah, it's our driveway is pretty good. It's a pretty good angle. So I definitely salt a lot.
Yeah, we salt it. It's fun for the kids. When our kids were little, they would snow tube off down the hill. Mm-hmm. One of us would have to be at the bottom of the hill, make sure there was no coming traffic.
Traffic passing by.
Yeah. So the kids loved it because they'd slide down the driveway. So it did kind of help with that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the kids kind of cleaned off the snow for us most of the time with the sleds. But, yeah, our first few winters here were very interesting.
Well, I mean, we're from the city. We didn't know. We had some family that had homes, but for the most part, we were never there too much in the wintertime. And even if we came in the wintertime, it was to come to maybe a birthday party, Christmas event, or whatever, and then you head out. And then, of course, you get there at nighttime. And then you leave at night, and then everything's shoveled.
Yeah.
So you don't know how much work it is.
How much work it is until you have a house.
And then you get the house, and you realize, and the first 10 years, I want to say the first 10 to 12 years, North Jersey had some really, really
so funny?
Tough winters.
We had really, really tough winters until we got a big snowblower.
Yes.
Then we got one of those big, massive snowblowers, and it didn't snow for like 2 years after that we got it. We'd get like these little...
That's right. We did, and neighbor across the street.
We'd get these little snowstorms that you really didn't need to use a snowblower. Granted, he would use it just to use it, but it was snowstorms that you could just do with the shovel and you'd be good. But like 2 years, it went where it didn't like pound us for him to get a good workout out of it. Now we haven't had... This is the first storm we've had. Last year we didn't really get much snow. I mean, this is not even really a storm.
No.
This is...
I think in the past 5 to 7 years, the winters have gotten milder. Last year, I think if we went into single digits, maybe it was for a total of 7 days. I just don't recall. I remember being a lot in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Like this past December, we stayed in the last couple of weeks, 30s and 40s, maybe...
A couple 50s here and there.
A couple of 50s, and at nighttime, maybe you drop, like when I got up for work, it's 27 degrees. I'm getting up around 5 and leaving the house around 5:35, 5:40.
Oh, there was a lot of warm weather this December because a lot of people were in downtown.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were saying there was record
the crowds were huge. Yeah, the crowds were huge.
There was a lot of huge crowds in the city. Even for us, we went and did a few things because it was unusually warm.
But
now it's like hunker downtime for us.
But I think I think it's going to be easier for new buyers because even though the internet was around in 2000, it wasn't what it is. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have the vast.
I learned stuff from watching like those home improvement channels, and things like that.
And that's when those shows were big.
Yes, now you got everything through YouTube.
Yeah, you got all individual people like our channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it is it is and it isn't a lot easier for younger couples nowadays when they're buying houses because like you said, they could search these things online and they know, what they're in for. Unlike us, we didn't know what we were in for.
No, I think
have the internet to guide us through certain things.
Yeah, we had a couple of books, Home Depot books.
We did buy the Home Depot DIY books, but even those were like.
They were not designed for new homeowners.
They weren't made for dummy homeowners.
No, this is 20
years
ago. Yeah, this is 20 years ago.
Homeowners, because you don't know anything. When you buy a house, when you come from the city, and your parents or some of your family members don't own houses, and you're like the first few to get houses in the family, you don't know anything. No. You have to learn everything.
You're not involved in projects at their homes. Yeah, you don't even know what's going on.
I have a cousin who just bought a house recently.
Right.
She's like, "Cuz I'm looking forward to some tips on how to do things." She was, because I wanted to put in a pool. We didn't know how expensive it was to take trees down. I'm like, yeah, we took a couple down when we first bought the house here. And it was expensive.
Behind there was definitely a tree where, I don't know if you could see the above gazebos. There was a tree there. We actually had a small tree here.
And a couple of them behind the pool.
In fact, this yard was totally different. These patios weren't here. This was like a slope. It's not a flat backyard. The town we live in is not that designed.
It's very rocky.
So we have it in tiers, and it works. It's got good, spaces where we got people here.
I personally love it and hate it. We get a lot of compliments on it. I love it because when we have events, everyone is divided. Mm-hmm. You have, your sitting areas, not everyone.
Even here, people will come in here, hang out.
But to get work done back here in this backyard, it is a pain in the neck. Everything has to be hauled back here. Everything
you see, there is no flat way to get in here. I have carried up bags of sand.
Or a son.
And fill a trash can with sand. Yes. Or earth. That area, if I don't know how much you see on that side, but just think of it this way: going farther here, that was a hill. We filled it in.
Nothing was that. There was nothing.
Yeah, everything has been filled in. We had a pallet of dirt.
For there.
Yeah, because it was easy. We didn't have because it was easier to toss it up in a bag.
Even for the pool.
Sand.
Actually, this is our second pool. We had a smaller pool. When we first put it in, it took us a whole weekend. I think it was the hottest weekend of July that year.
Yes.
Of bringing trash cans up
she would fill it
full
of
sand for underneath the pool liner. It was a whole weekend of bringing this, and it was a pain in the neck. I think we broke like 2 trash cans because we were using the trash cans with the wheels on them.
Yes.
We snapped the wheels on it.
Yeah.
But
no, it
was the easiest way. We couldn't bring them up on shovels. Back then when we bought it, they didn't really have it too much in bags.
Listen, I'm going to say it for sure is we live in an age where not just home improvements, but even work. I work in IT and technology, and of course, back then you had to read a lot. Now there's people out there putting content for you.
It makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to read it; they tell you.
Right.
Or they show you.
And in this case, like I said, there's people out there showing you their home projects. I mean, we're going to do a couple, and you'll see that project and say,
Actually,
okay.
We have done like in here in this porch.
I'm saying show it on the channel.
So I've painted this.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually due to paint it this. I want to paint it this spring. I'm hoping he doesn't give me a hard time. I want to paint it. Probably update the furniture because I've had this furniture in here for a long time. It's really nice, genuine wicker furniture. It is real wicker. It's not plastic, but I think it's due for
a swap out.
A swap out. Nothing expensive, just a paint, paint and spruce. But I did do some work in here. I made the cushions for the sitting area. Put the curtain rods up. So I'll change it up a little bit in here.
But like I said, now you have that age where you go to the channels and look online.
Makes it a lot easier.
For us, we didn't have that. So for you guys out there planning to buy a house, fixer-upper, I think, excluding, home costs and interest rates, I think there's so many projects online.
Makes it a lot easier.
It makes it a lot easier to do those type of projects. And I think the stores themselves, Lowe's and Home Depot, they cater now to more of that DIY projects.
Yeah, they have actually like DIY kits.
Right. Because back then, if you had to do tiles in your bathroom, and I'm pointing this way because our bathroom is that direction, you didn't have those little
spacers. No.
Spacers. You had
to figure it out.
Right, yeah. So they've got all these projects. If you want to do it. So I always tell her, a professional, let's say, could do it in 2 hours. Homeowners, maybe 4 or 5 hours. But you'll get it done. It's just you're at a slower pace.
It's a slower pace. Sometimes you have to take it apart and re-put it together because you messed up or you skipped a step. So there's sometimes I don't mind doing the project myself. But there's times where I'd rather go and get a professional. See that right there? That little cover broke off.
This is the outlet she's talking about.
I know I can fix that myself.
Yeah.
So this spring I'm gonna go get a new one for there. And the front of the house one, that one was plastic also broke off.
Right.
So all I'm gonna do is this summer I'll go take a picture, go.
Well, here's an example. So that patio wasn't there. Okay, that was just dirt.
Yes.
And she was like, "Hey, can we make a patio? Can't we just clear it out?" I'm in there shoveling, and it becomes clay after about a foot and a half.
We did have a good amount of it dug out.
Yeah, and finally I just said, "Listen,
it's too big of a job.
It's too big of a job. Go online. I mean, not go online. Excuse me.
What's so funny? That was our first project moving here, right? Mind you, we took it on. We couldn't finish it, but years later on, up where our gazebo is, that wasn't leveled. We took that on and we did level that by ourselves.
It's leveled, but not as much as I would like it leveled.
But compared to what it was,
yes,
it was a slope.
Yes,
we leveled it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
80%.
I'm just saying there are projects that we just say, hey, it's just way.
Yeah.
It was
even
way out
that
of the
area. We leveled that.
That one, yeah.
And we did very, very well.
I think in the spring we'll show you that how it. I think actually we have some photos. There's
very few photos of our yard.
Well, there are photos, but they're barbecue photos. So I don't know if I have plain photos. But like I said, there are gonna be projects that you're gonna have to do. Hire someone, and like I said, there are projects you can do
On your own.
On your own, and YouTube is there with all those people.
Remember we did the wall, that
Right.
side wall fence. We fenced it. That was our first fence job. It
So
was a pain in the neck.
I think that's it. We just kind of wanted to wrap up the storm. Wasn't bad. We survived it. One time out there, that was it.
We did watch Cherry 2000.
We watched the 80s movie Cherry 2000.
And I'm going to fess up. He wanted to hang out. I've been so tired. I don't know if it's the
Yeah, 'cause you didn't even go out there.
winter blues.
It's Christmas blues. That's what it is.
Maybe it's Christmas blues.
'Cause it's over.
Usually I'm up. Usually I'm the one that wants to stay up to 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, hang out. The last 2 weekends, I've been, even right now, like he says, you look tired. I feel tired, but I think it's the holiday blues.
Holiday
I'm
blues.
missing.
Yeah.
Actually, I was talking with my cousin over the tea yesterday. We were at the restaurant. I was like, I didn't feel the cold until
Right.
after the holidays.
Right.
And I know it's been cold,
Right.
but it's like the holiday winter blues. It's like
Well,
downer,
right. Like you said, I
so-
think, you're in the holidays, and if it's 30 or even 20 degrees, it's
You're
Christmas.
cheery.
It's cheery. It's
Yeah.
festive. You're gonna walk the streets,
Yes.
and maybe walk your neighborhood or whatever. You're gonna do those errands, and then Christmas is over, and now even though it may be the same temps, it just feels colder.
Yeah.
And now there's snow on the ground. You see snow on the roofs.
I know.
You see snow in the backyard. You're like,
So I'm like, oh, he's like, you look tired. Now I know what it is. It's the winter blues.
But
I'll snap out.
you'll snap out of it. Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of shopping. Maybe some plane tickets for the spring. I don't know. We'll see.
I think you're going. Well, no, I think you and Ada are gonna go down there for spring break.
We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We did scope out the plane tickets already.
Right.
We'll see. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm excited. My niece just called me FaceTime and walked us through her
Home in Florida.
her new house, and I can't wait. So if I don't go in spring, then I have to wait till the summer to see it. So I don't know. Maybe we'll go. I wish it would be all three of us, but I know you hate.
Because we're gonna
You
have
like staying at a hotel. You don't like.
No, well, it's
staying
not.
at
No, I mean now she has the extra bedroom, but it's not even that. Is we're gonna go down there in the summer, so why? You know what I'm saying? Like Ada's gonna have a good time.
Yes.
So this is where you pick and choose where the cost is.
Where
Yeah,
he'll
I can.
just send me.
I can
and
spend the
Aiden.
money, and then that's an extra. We do JetBlue, $300 to $400 maybe. But I know I'm gonna do it in the summertime, and we're talking about going to Florida, out, and then from there to Puerto Rico. So
Yes,
it's
I know.
so it's. I think Florida will probably stay in her house because I only
Couple days.
hang out for 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
And then we're flying to Puerto Rico, and then from Puerto Rico we fly back to Jersey, and they'll fly back to Florida. But
So
this is where I pick and choose the battles of where we spend the
in
money.
April,
It just be you and
if
Aiden.
it's just me and Aiden. I stay at my niece's house, and I'll cook sometimes because she's at work, and I'll do stuff. So if he comes, we end up going out to eat more, spend a little bit more.
Sure, I mean it's Florida.
So,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
When you're visiting, that's what's gonna happen.
But when I go with Aiden by myself, I stay more in the house. Even though she gives me one of her cars to drive around and do whatever, and we go hang out with friends, we tend to spend a little less because he's not there with me. So I end up eating salads and hanging out more in the house, while our little one gets to hang out more with his cousins. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll probably end up going because if I don't go, we'll just end up staying here.
I
in the
mean,
house.
again, the goal is either 2024, 2025, knocking on, some wicker wood here. We'll have the house in Florida.
It won't be furnished. We'll be sleeping on air mattresses.
Air mattresses.
And getting probably stuff off Facebook
But,
Marketplace.
think about it. You don't pay for air. I mean, you pay for the airfare, but you don't pay for the hotel.
No.
And eventually, if we lease
There's a
another
full
car,
kitchen.
it's a full kitchen.
So,
So
yeah.
there's some advantages. We'll see where we get to, interest rates and things, see how things come
Hopefully
together.
things will happen this
2024.
coming fall. Hopefully.
Yeah. But anyway, so hopefully everybody, wasn't bad in your areas, and for other areas that you don't have snow. I'm jealous. We're jealous.
Yeah. It could have been worse, but it's not a bad storm.
No,
So
one time outside.
now we're just going to go off and do our own thing. He'll go watch a movie. I'll go watch a movie. We'll fill up on chili.
And then we'll watch a
and
movie later on today.
Watch a movie, and I'll probably have a few glasses of wine, and he'll probably put me to bed early. All right, guys. Take
All right,
care.
definitely
Bye.
hit the like,
Subscribe.
leave the comments,
Let us know how you
and
guys
share
feel.
our channel. Talk It Up with Cindy and Jerry.
Take care. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.